Greetings humans, the disgruntled Octopus here, and today I'm actually going to show you a quick little guide at how to differentiate between reproduction or fake cartridges and real cartridges, especially looking at the Pokémon games on the Game Boy Advance. I did a little short series on YouTube Shorts, surprisingly enough, just to kind of give you a bit of differentiation between real carts and fake carts. I've been primarily looking at Ruby. I've got the reproduction cart, and I've also got the genuine cart for that. So I just want to give you a little bit of a guidance, because I went through eBay this morning, and there's a lot of fake carts in there. They're going for prices that they shouldn't necessarily be going for. Either the sellers 99 times out of 100 probably dodgy, or they just don't know. So basically, I'm going to give you a bit of a guidance as to what you need to look for. So for this one here, this is Pokemon Emerald. So it says genuine in the title, so that's always something you need to look out for. What I normally do first is what I did with the shorts. Basically, look at the little tag on the bottom right. I normally tell people, especially if they're in Australia, to look for the AUS one, because I've never seen a fake AUS cartridge. That's not to say they're not out there, but they're quite rare. 99 times out of 100, the fake cartridges would be USA, and I also have seen some UK V ones, which are the UK version. So what I normally do, tell people first if they're in Australia, and this also works with the US and the UK and all those different, in Europe and all these different things. What I'm going to show you today, but if you're in Australia, look for the Australian tag. Look for the little indent next to the N. So that one there says 13. The reproductions copies don't have the factory imprint, I suppose, and there's a little imprint up there as well that says 11. So look for those two numbers there, or even just one number. You're good from that perspective. I'm not too sure about the seals. I know a lot of people bring attention to the way Nintendo's printed or the seal printed, all those different things, but that's not one of the things I look for. When you flick the card over, there's another thing I look for is the 4 golden squares, right? So if you see those, you're pretty much onto a genuine cart. None of the reproduction carts that I've come across has the 4 golden squares, so look out for that. So basically, the first thing you want to look at, if you did come across one in the thrift store, the op shop, or a collector's trying to sell you one, or a garage sale, or anything along the lines of that, look for the imprinted number on the front, flick it over, and look for the 4 golden squares, and that's pretty much your 20 seconds to determine it's a genuine cart or otherwise. If you look at the front of the cart, this game came out in early 2000s, probably around 2001, 2002, I can't remember specifically. Unless it's brand new, sealed, and all those different things, the cartridge is going to have some sort of usage or use damage. So it's not going to be pristine. It's probably going to have little lines where it's being inserted into a Game Boy Advance. The label might have little bits of folding or anything along lines of that. So you need to be looking at age specific for the labels. This label looks very, 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 very good condition, but it's age appropriate, right? So it doesn't look like it's just been printed last week, so it's good in that respect. Another thing that you can look for as well, but I have noticed it with fake cartridges as well, and I will show you when I pull a cartridge apart later in this video, is basically on the circuit board, and you can't see it in this video, in this photo, is that it's actually got 2001 Nintendo printed on the circuit board there. You can look for that as well. But like I said a little bit later on, the reproduction carts have picked that up, and they are using that tactic now. So you need to be mindful of that. The print's different, but we'll show you a little bit later. Excuse me. So this is a leaf green. Basically, it's a fake game. So what I normally do is, the first thing I can tell straight off is this little carry case that comes in, this little plastic case. 99.9% of all the reproductions I've seen comes in this case. So that's a dead giveaway. So going back to what I said previously, is the USA. There's no imprint, and this label looks like it's been printed yesterday. It looks brand new. There's no exposed damage, obviously from previous use and all these different things, but there's no mention that it's genuine or not genuine. If we go to the listing quite quickly, cartridge only. So I'd be very cautious of buying of this seller, because, like I said, it's a bidding system. They're not being genuine in the sense that saying it's real or fake, so just be mindful of that. So definitely one to avoid in that respect. Another Emerald version. So coming back to this one, so 2004 it came out, okay? So this is another example of what we were talking about earlier. There's no imprints. USA, Nintendo looks a bit bolder in that one version from what we looked at previously. So that's obviously a fake. Another dead giveaway is that it's only one photo, right? Like I said, excuse me, if we could turn it over the back and see the 4 golden squares, we could tell if it's legit or otherwise. It probably not, and it's already up to $53 for a fake cartridge, which probably can get brand new for $15. So that's quite ludicrous in that respect. So I'll just flick back to where we were. Like I said again, the little cartridge case, definitely And we're going to go back here and see here, same thing, no imprint and all those different things, so that's a fake cart from there. This is a genuine cart, so this is the Sapphire version of the Game Boy Advance. So Australia there, you know, the age has probably worn the numbers off, so it's not really a showstopper. You can see the little bit of a numbering there. If we flick over to the back, the 4 golden squares are there, very hard to see, but they're there. And also that's the 2002 Nintendo that I was telling you about earlier, so you need to look for that there. And obviously if it's got the cartridge there, it's printed pretty well. Cool. It looks like the original battery from there. If you see a battery like that, it's the original battery 9 times out of 10. If it's like a yellow battery, and I'll show you one later, it's fine. It doesn't mean it's a fake cart. It's just because the battery's dried out and no longer works. They normally get replaced by a yellow battery. It's always it's always the same battery. So, like I said, that game probably won't work from the save function. It'll still function, but you won't be able to save your game. Yeah, so same thing. Look, they're charging $100, so they're just doing like really shoddy jobs. So obviously for leaf green, you're looking around $220. For ruby, you're looking for $130. You're looking very similar prices for sapphire as well, depending what it is. But just be very mindful of what you're looking for, because what I'll do is I'll show you a cart. We'll get into Game Boy carts and DS carts in a later video. So just be very mindful of what you're buying. Zoom in and go from there. So what do we got here? That's an Australian cart. The numbering system's there. There's only one photo. So realistically, if you're looking at selling Pokemon games, please have more than one photo. Have a picture at the front, the back, and what it looks like. And if you want to sell it as well, or plug it in and show that it works. You know, like it's not too hard to do. So we're going to look at basically a genuine cart versus a fake cart, which is obviously like the little case that I showed you a bit earlier. So this is actually a genuine Australian version of Ruby, as what I mentioned earlier. So you can see the imprint there, and also the Australian part at the bottom as well. And what I did say earlier, I think we did see there, you can actually see Nintendo 2002 Nintendo printed on the cartridge there. So on the back, it's got the 4 golden squares, which you can see, which also makes it a genuine cartridge. This one here, this is the fake cartridge, and I'll get it out and I'll show you in a second. All right, through the power of editing, we've actually got the cartridge out now. So basically, like I said previously, if you compare them together, you can see that this is the fake cartridge. It's got the USA. The sticker here, the sticker here is almost on top of the on the seal of approval from Nintendo. Nintendo printing's a little bit off. I don't have an American cartridge to tell you what the similarities are, but realistically, there's no indent here, what we said previously. If we flick the cartridge over, there's no 4 golden squares. The cartridge is considerably lighter, but you wouldn't be able to tell because there's no battery in it, right? So that's what it is. And also, it has that Nintendo printed on the bottom. So that's what we need to look out for. So what I normally do, if in doubt, what you need to do is basically buy yourself a screwdriver set. They're available on Amazon. I got mine off a private website in Australia. They're probably about $10 delivered. So they're not a normal Phillips head screwdriver. They're specifically for Nintendo games and Nintendo consoles, so you need to buy the right ones. If you buy Phillips heads ones, you'll strip your games and strip it, and you basically give yourself a world of hurt. So give me 2 seconds and I'll open them up for you. Also, a bit earlier, this is the fake cartridge reproduction copy here, and this is the genuine one here. The biggest, easiest thing you can look for if you are stripping the cartridge apart is there's no battery, right? So this game came out in 2001 or 2002, I can't remember from memory. And there should be a battery here. So the battery there, this one's gone flat, so this battery will need to be replaced. Like I said previously, the Nintendo printing is on the bottom of the board. You need to look for that. But if you look at the contrast, it's a lot thicker bolded writing and all these different things. So just be very mindful of these. Like, it's very, very different printing there. So I necessarily wouldn't be using the Nintendo method under the cartridge anymore, because that was pretty much previously a big go-to ticket item to look for. So if I take out the genuine card, and if we flick it over, you can see the 4 golden squares in the back right over here. So that's what you want to be looking for, and also the cartridge in here. And like we said before, is that it's got a bit of it's a bit of age, right? So realistically, where's my little screwdriver? You can see that the pins have been used over the lifespan. So that's what you need to look out for if you're buying a fake one. Oh, sorry, buying a real one. This is the fake, so basically flick it over. There's no 4 golden squares. The circuitry is different. Yeah, so be mindful of that. What I do get asked a fair bit as well in closing, what's the difference between these games? And realistically, unless you're collecting for collection's sake and you want to be a perfectionist or a purist, the reproduction cards are probably better in the sense the ones that I've come across, the ones you pay about $15 Australian for. They will work no different. Like I was saying that previously, the batteries in the genuine carts will expire. They only have a shelf life of about 10 years, so that you'll lose all your data and all those different things. With the reproduction ones, they've got a little memory chip in there that saves the data to like an SD card, I suppose you could say, like a little ROM. And then obviously the life of that might be 25 years plus. Realistically, I've never had an issue. I played through both games entirety. These ones have a lot of timed events, which I suppose that depending on the time of the console and the time in the game, like certain events function and trigger, they both happen in both these games. So like I said, this one here definitely needs a new battery replacement because it just died probably about a couple of months ago, and this one's still cracking along. So definitely, unless you're wanting to collect for the sake of purity and you want a genuine thing, but if you're only after a cheap copy for nostalgia's sake or just to get a copy, I'm not going to say get the reproduction copy, but there's no difference between the two. Like this video, if you do like this video, please like, comment, share. I would really appreciate it. And if you want more of these videos, just let me know in the comment section below. I am looking at doing a DS version, so looking at probably a couple of cartridges, possibly Pokemon Black version 2 or stuff along that. Which ones I don't find as heavily faked as the Game Boy Advance cartridges. But yeah, like I said, I can show you a couple of those as well if you want to go with those videos. But thanks again for watching, and hopefully you learned something new today.